What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel today, and man, it is a nice and toasty day here in Vancouver. It's finally starting to actually feel like summer, which this guy right here is always a fan of. It's really the time when Vancouver just absolutely comes alive, and I just love to see it. But this weather is actually also totally reminding me of a very recent trip that I took to Mexico City, and that is what the topic of today's video is gonna be. Before I get much further into this video though, most of you guys watching this are not subscribed to the channel. Make sure, please, if you're seeing this right now, if this is content you enjoy, subscribe to the channel. We got much more of it coming. Anyway, so today I am going to document some of my recent trip to Mexico City, and let me tell you, I'll be completely honest and straightforward. I slept on Mexico City. I'm not gonna lie. Before going there, I didn't really have too much of a concept of what exactly to expect. I didn't know a whole lot about the city. Mexico was somewhere that I always wanted to go, but in my mind it was more beaches and desert and that sort of a thing. I had no clue Mexico City was in the mountains, and I had no clue how big it was. That place is huge. You could spend way more time than just 48 hours exploring Mexico City, let me tell you that. And another part of that is I got so much footage that I am definitely going to be making follow-up videos to this, documenting some of my other culinary expeditions in Mexico City, so definitely stay tuned for that. However, what I did know going in is that the food there is absolutely spectacular, and trust me, this trip did not disappoint. I am a huge fan of Mexican food. Most of the time I grew up eating Tex-Mex, which is, you know, the Americanized version. All of your classic Americanizations, bigger, better, more fried, all that kind of good stuff. But man, none of those hold a candle to some of these meals that I had here in Mexico City. The food was just so good, so fresh, and so delicious. So boom, you land in Mexico City and you're looking to immediately do something that can only be done there, indigenous to the area. Now, this isn't necessarily a food thing, but the way that I did it was, and I'll explain to you what I mean here right quick. So for those who don't know, Xochimilco is the last remaining of what used to be gigantic lake that all of Mexico City encompasses. Another fun fact that I had absolutely no idea about. Back in the Aztec days, it was, all of that area was just a gigantic lake, and that's where the city was originally built upon. But over time, they drained it, things have happened, human intervention, it's built on top of there now. But Xochimilco is one of the last ones, and they have boat tours that go through the historic canals, and they usually have guides that talk about it, show it around. It's almost kind of like a show, very touristy kind of a thing, but super blessed. Now, we did an Airbnb experience that, along with the normal tour, came with a mezcal tasting, which I can say, dangerous in that heat, but absolutely delicious and well worth it. There was such a good spread. But also, our tour guide's whole family was working on the boat, and his wife wasn't there, but she made chicken with a mole sauce over rice that was served to us fresh and hot on the boat, and let me tell you, that was absolutely delicious. I've never had mole homemade before. This was the first time, and it was something I wanted to do to cross off the list to finally say I've had that, and man, it's so good. It's so interesting having that chocolatey but also kind of spicy, smoky sort of a flavor. It's just a combination of sweet and smoky that I feel like a lot of dishes I grew up with don't necessarily have, and it's just so nice. I highly recommend this tour if you're gonna do Xochimilco. I think it's one of the things you absolutely gotta see. You gotta see the axolotes if you can. Gotta see Xochimilco, take that tour, learn a little bit about the rich cultural history that the city has, and also specifically hit up my guys here. I'll include a link in the description to the Airbnb experience to make sure you can get the exact same thing that I did, because I absolutely think it's the way to do it. Have a little bit of fun, have a little bit of culture. It's the best of both worlds. Now, I will say this is probably gonna take up most of your day, and Xochimilco is a bit outside of the city, and one thing that's for certain about Mexico City is there's going to be traffic, and that is a fact. It is, I mean, it's just, there's so many people. So, definitely plan that this may take up a good chunk of time, but I do think it is well worth it. It's such a blast. If you did it the way that I did it and you need something to end off your night to soak up some of that mezcal, head on over to Roma Norte and hit up Mercado Roma. That is where we went. It's over in the area where we stayed as well. This is a really, really cool place, a really cool hip food market like you see popping up in a lot of places these days, but this had a very distinct Latin American spin to it. I ended up getting empanadas. I had 3 different types, the carne, the jamon, and the especial. I believe the especial was some kind of chicken with a certain marinade that I don't remember off the top of my head. I personally like the jamon the most. It was really, really good. I also got some birria tacos there that, you know, I ate before I could actually get a good video of. I think I may have a picture. If I do, I'll put it up right here real quick, somewhere around here. But that's about all that we got out of that one before I ate it up. And yeah, it was some really, really good food. It's a really cool place to try and sample around, taste a couple of different things, try out some new stuff, and then end your night off on a strong suit, maybe a few drinks before you go home and check back into your hotel for the night. And we're up in the morning the next day for our finale day, and we're gonna have to pack a lot of stuff in here because there's a lot of heavy hitters to go still before we get out of town. First up, we're gonna hit Lago Algo, which is a really, really cool brunch spot that I found. The place is not only a restaurant, but it's also kind of an art installation, collective, like gathering space. It's really cool, has a lot of funky decor. It's in a very, very cool place as well. It's right in the middle of Chapultepec Park, so you can go walk around the park. It's right on a lake, so you can see the water. You get some beautiful views from the restaurant. So I ended up going with the enfrijoladas with mayflower, pumpkin flour, and quietes with sauteed mushrooms as my filling. And I will say, again, I'm trying my best. I did take Spanish in high school, but if I'm mispronouncing anything, kudos and my apologies to everybody who actually speaks Spanish. Should have listened a little bit closer, probably. Anyways, this was a very, very good brunch item. It was very light, you know, a good amount of filling, but not too much. The enfrijoladas was, you know, kind of bean-based with some sauteed mushrooms. It was nice to get a bit of a vegetarian-vegan switch up here because there is a lot of meat, especially red meat, in the cuisine in Mexico, I will say. So any chance you can get to get some veggies, some vegetables in you, I promise you, your body will be happy about it. And this was a great option for that. It's a great, nice, light breakfast. Like I said, we went and walked around a lot afterwards, spent a lot of time on our feet. It was enough to energize me, feel good, but not too heavy like some of these other meat-heavy dishes that we're gonna get to. Definitely needed some kombucha when I got back into town to set my gut biome back right, because it was a bit thrown off, I will say. But the food was absolutely delicious. And after that, we got back to the city. We were walking around doing a whole bunch of different stuff, exploring all around on our feet all day. And after that, you're tired, you're weary, your feet are a little sore, and your body is really craving something, and you really want the best of what Mexico City has to offer. And you realize that you haven't had any tacos yet. First off, what are you doing? There's so many good taco places in Mexico City. Honestly, you could probably take a dart, hit one of them, and you'll find a good taco place. But if you want to go to one of the oldest and absolutely hands down the best one that I have, you have to go to Taqueria Los Cocuyos. I am telling you what, these are the best tacos I've ever had in my life. And personally, I'm not the biggest taco fan. I know. There's a lot of flavor you can get into a taco. There's a lot of good, cool cooking, very interesting concepts you can do with a taco. It's very versatile. It's a great snack, but oftentimes I eat them and find myself wishing for a little bit more. That's just me. Not in Mexico City, people. Not at all. All the tacos I had were absolutely banging, and trust me, I had my fill of them. But none of them touched the ones that I had. Specifically, their cachete tacos, which means cheek. That's right, it was shredded pork cheek. Oh my gosh, it was like melt in your mouth, buttery, delicious. It was so good. I could have eaten 50 of them, but I didn't. I only had 2, as well as also having 2 of the campechanos tacos, which is a mixture of brisket and sausage. Man, oh man, I was absolutely pumped by the time I saw these come out and hit our table, and I could not chow down on them quick enough. They're just so juicy, so flavorful. You can tell that they cooked it with love and passion. especially that pork cheek. I don't know if I've ever had pork cheek before, but it's the perfect balance of that, like bacony, buttery, soft, melt in your mouth deliciousness while also having some real kind of texture. They're almost like a pork belly, but not so buttery, and I don't know, it just was so good. Another thing I liked about a lot of the places in Mexico City is you always got a little sauce tray brought right to you. They dropped off a whole spread of salsas, sauces, lime, so you could, drizzle it on your taco. And these are the kind of things that I like. I'm a big sauce guy personally. I think it almost always adds to a meal some kind of sauce, dressing, something condiment-y like that, and they absolutely were on the same page with me as that. So you always get to dress them up to your liking, add whatever additional flavors you want, because they're almost just kind of the most solid base you could possibly have, and you just build from there. So taco rant over. Go to Los Cocuyos. It'll absolutely be worth your day. You will not be disappointed at all for the bang for your buck that you get paying for these delicious tacos. Now, if you can make sure that you don't get yourself totally full on eating about 10 million of these things, I promise you it'll be the right decision, because then you'll be left with just enough in the tank to have one of the best desserts possible out there. Something that I absolutely have always loved from Mexican cooking as well, but have never got to have a truly good homemade one like this, and that is the churro. Oh my God. You have to go to Churreria El Moro. Can I tell you, these churros were so good, and I got to watch them make them fresh. They literally pull them right out of the fryer, throw them in your choice of brown or white sugar, toss them up, and give them right to you in a bag. Just as quick. I got to have it almost like when the Krispy Kreme light flicks on and it's red hot, ready to go. Perfect cook temp. I had them fresh out, and it blew me away. No churro I've ever had in my life tasted anything like this. It was just so crispy on the outside, kind of chewy on the inside, and the brown sugar coating gave it a sweetness that was absolutely to die for. I'm sure the white sugar is good too, but I don't know why you would eat a churro and not go for brown sugar. Like, that's kind of half of the whole bit. So that's my personal recommendation, and I would say this one may be the one I would hit above everything else. The tacos were really good, Xochimilco was really fun, but this place has been open since like 1935 or something like that. It's a historic establishment in itself, and you can see why it would still be here today, serving a product that good, that quickly, and to the masses. It just is a win-win. Now, like I said, I am sure there are plenty of other places that did not make this list in Mexico City that are absolutely delicious. I can tell you that to be a fact, because I had some places that I hit that I absolutely loved there that just didn't end up making it to this video because of the format of how I've been doing it. Again, because of that, I am definitely going to do some follow-ups of some other fun, interesting, more unique things that I got to try out there for the first time. That one's gonna be really cool. I'm super excited for that one. But this one was super fun as well. It's definitely making me reminisce and want to book a follow-up trip just to go back and get those churros again and hit up everywhere I didn't get to hit the first time. So if there is anywhere that I didn't get to hit that you think deserve to be on this list, let me know in the comments down below. I definitely am open to any recommendations. If you do go there as well, I know this is a food channel, but you gotta hit some of the museums. It's a cultural hub. Don't sleep on Mexico City like I did. Absolutely get the chance to go there. I feel like it's the real Mexico. You can get a real sense of the heartbeat of the country and what gets it moving. It's not exactly the same as going to a resort out in Cabo or something like that. It's a little bit more authentic. And I can tell you it'll be a great time, absolutely delicious, and well worth it. Check out some of my stuff if you have the chance, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Give this video a like if you liked it. Where else do you want to see me go next as well? I got some trips planned, some fun stuff that I'm gonna like, but if there's somewhere you think that I should go to and give a rundown of, please let me know in the comments down below as well. And again, hope you guys are enjoying the content. I can tell you I absolutely am having a blast getting to do this. I really appreciate all the support and the community that I'm building here. And until next time, peace out.